consent women theologians. I'm very appreciative also that our forebears, the founding mothers and scholars and intellectuals in the academic scholarship, in the ecumenical movement, but also in the advocacy systems within the ecumenical movement, have constantly shared with us wisdom and knowledge and reminded us that theology cannot be transformative or liberating if it's not entwined with its praxis and practice, if it's not entwined with the liberation of the very systems that are at the center of our oppression. And therefore, that Auntie Mercy is in this meeting, that Dr. Auntie Professor Mercy is in this meeting, that Dr. Brigalia Bam is in this meeting, that Auntie Prof. Kanyoro is in this meeting, Professor Masinga. Unfortunately, Professor Dube, I see you as the subsequent generation. So whilst we may celebrate your work, I'm thinking about this. I'm also honored that we celebrate this work, remembering just last month at the end, a friend of this founding theologians that ignited and formed us into a community, an epistemic community, to reflect together. I'm also thinking this coming together is a commemoration of those theologians or even partners to this journey that have passed on. And I thought I should also celebrate Omega Bula, because my first encounter in person in Ghana of the Circle of Concerned Women Theologians and the work that Auntie Mercy was doing, not just within the Christian community, but also with Muslims and colleagues that did not affirm faith, but yet at the same time central to thinking about women. The first time I was exposed to the Kayoye women in the marketplace was precisely because we were convened not only in the academy, but in the church, in the ecumenical movement, and as multiple generations of women leaders who ought to think about our faith and spirituality. That first encounter of the circle has always remained etched in my heart, because the critical questions and the critical discussions around how we form, how we support, how we follow up on the generations of women theologians and the methods and methodologies that they were using was important. But it was also at the time when HIV/AIDS was a death-dealing system in our society, and reminding us to being attentive to the contextual and global exigencies of our times, and to be central to the solutions or even the theologies that were liberating, especially in the context of the continent. And in the aftermath of COVID-19, the questions that we ask about social justice, about emancipation, about the role of women, as well as how we mentor, I think still remains important. As the woman Vice-Chancellor in the context of South Africa, with the experiences and the mentorship by the circle, I'm very appreciative, because some of the resiliency that has had to be invoked would have been drawn from learning about the leadership of these forebears that are so profound, whose works, whose outputs, whose theologies, whose books have become central to how we think about the present and the future. And I'm very grateful, because if they hadn't been the pathfinders, if they had not opened the pathways to the ceilings, or even to the length of breadth of theology, Many of us might not have known what it means to have generational mentorship. I want to say on behalf of UNISA Press, we are always committed to partnering with the Circle of Concerned Women Theologians. We deem it as a privilege and an honor to have had the partnership for the publication of this important book. I'm hoping that we will prescribe it in our theological schools and not just allow it to remain in the libraries. And I extend my heartwarm and heartfelt gratitude to the presentations that have been made, but to the circle for continuing to be a partner to all of us in the pursuit for justice in a changing world where death-dealing principalities maim us as women, maim our ecology, and maim our churches. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I was just greeting, but I also appreciated the moment to really encounter anew the very mentors that are amongst us. Thank you very much. I wish you all success and the book to multiply. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Lenkabula. We are so deeply honored that you found the time to come in and greet us and share such a wonderful message. We know that you are juggling many balls at one time, that there are many irons in the fire. So it's deeply moving that you found the time to come and address us. And we are extremely grateful and thank you for the beautiful compliments. And as we move forward now, I just want to go back a little bit to Professor Musimbi's address and say thank you there, Prof. I know we had to do a bit of a rush. And just to say that, the way you have described the circle and the task of the circle and the mentorship and its continuation. It is so evident in the way you said it, that you were a generation who mentored people like Professor Dube, who mentored us. And so I want to say thank you also. It's such a joy and an honor to see you here finally, Professor Dube. You made it. We were just saying that this project was your brainchild, and that you have mentored us from beginning to end on this project. And we are deeply honored and grateful for you and for the mentorship that is the Circle of Concerned African Women Theologians. Professor Dube, I just want to know, would you like to say a few words at this juncture? You have missed out on a few. I will send you the transcript of all the nice things we were saying about you. I just thought maybe I'd give you an opportunity to say a few things.
Okay.